Okay, now we're going to put our slideshow together on CALL, Computer Assisted Language Learning. The first thing is you're going to need to open a Google account. So you'll go to Gmail, open a Gmail account, and that will give you access to all of the Google Suite. Then I'm going to go to google.com. And over on the upper right side, when you're logged in, you'll see your picture, or you'll see an indicator that you're logged in with your name. And then you'll notice a little keypad. You're going to click on the keypad, and you'll see some icons. Go all the way to the bottom to Google Drive. Click on Google Drive, and then you're going to go to the left. You'll see a little red button called New. Click on that, and you're going to go to Google Slides. And you'll notice it looks very much like PowerPoint. So I think I'm going to select a theme that is light gray. Click OK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete all of these boxes here because they have a tendency to get in the way. And I'm going to import some photos. So I'm going to go to Insert, Image, and I'm going to go choose an image to upload from my hard drive. And I have some technology images here. Okay, so you'll notice I'll get a little, I have a little picture here, and these are actually quite high resolution. So you actually, when you go and do your Google searches, you want to go to the Google tools. In fact, let me show you that right now. When you're in Google and you want to go find some images, you want to, let's say we're going to go try to find old computers. And then we're going to go to Google Images. Now you'll notice over on the right here there are some search tools. So you can click on Search and then go over, and you want to go for the larger images. Now also you'll notice there's usage rights here. So what you can do is click on that, and you can click on Labeled for Reuse. Labeled for Reuse or Labeled for Reuse with Modification. And that will give you all of the copyright-free images that are available to you. So that's a good way to load this slideshow. If not, just make sure you're not using any stock photos, but we are using this for educational purposes. Just be very careful where you get your photos. You can also go to Flickr Commons. That's a great place to find photos. Okay, let's go back to our slideshow. Okay, so I've got a picture in here. Now in this slideshow, what you'd like to do is you want it to be about 50% image and 50% text. So what I would do is I would type in put a text box here. Okay, and then let's just put some, text in here. It doesn't have to be anything real. Okay, so we'll just fill that up with some Greeking. Okay, and then we're probably going to want to have some kind of a header. So you want a title. So I would put a little text box for a title, and then you can make your title any size you like. Let's see what 24 looks like. Okay, introduction to the beginning of CAL, something like that. Okay. And then you want to make sure everything is centered. So you see you get a little line when your text is centered, a little red line once it's centered. And you want to make sure that everything, all of your text is nice and a very nice paragraph or two. And then you want to align it well with your image. Now you can put more than one image on a page if you like, but make sure that you align them well. It's always a good practice to align the tops of images if they're side by side, or the left sides of images if there's going to be one above the other. So if you wanted to, you could put smaller images, perhaps 2 smaller images, and even have a little more text. Or you could design it in a different way, where you could have a little image here, and then another one below it, right? And then some text up above. Put another text box out. Okay. So if you wanted to, you don't want to have it too text heavy, because when people are reading on the web, they really don't want a lot of text. And also that's not really the point. You're trying to use imagery and text to tell a story. So you have a couple choices here. You could use a larger image and a block of text on the right, or you could do multiple images. You also could make the images diagonal. Any way you want to lay it out, it's totally your choice. But just make sure everything is well aligned, and then what the trick is, you decide on a page, lay out one page the way you want it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to duplicate slides, and you're going to go in and replace all of the text and images. That way your slideshow will have a very uniform and professional look to it. So let's just go over to the left. We'll click on a slide. I'm going to copy, actually I'm going to duplicate slide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate about a dozen slides. Maybe, somewhere 10 to 15 slides. So this is the way you want to do it, and then you want to go into each individual slide. And so now I'm on slide 2. Looks identical. And you want to make your page look more or less the same as the first page. You don't want to deviate. You want to stick to the same font. You want to stick to the same style. You can, of course, move things around to make it more interesting, but you want to keep all of your text sizes the same. You don't want to have large text on one slide and small text on the next slide, and you don't want your headers to jump around, your titles to jump around too much either. You want them all to stay in perfect position from slide to slide. And that doesn't mean all your photos have to be on the left, as I mentioned. You can move your photos around, be creative. But that's basically it. Okay, and you'll notice that Google Drive will save everything, so all changes are saved already. You can view your slideshow simply by going up to View, the View menu in your upper left corner. Click on View, Present, and that way you can actually go through your slideshow, and you'll see you've got arrows here on the left. But this is the way you actually look at your slideshow to see if it looks presentable. And then before you finish, make sure you go back to make sure there are no spelling errors. And also, one last thing, make sure you don't put your pictures all the way up to the edge. Always leave some margin of breathing room around your edges. It just makes for a nicer user experience. So let's say I'm finished here, and now I'm ready to insert my slideshow into my digital e-portfolio. So we'll go back to Digication and work on that.